The next time that you go out to practice cold approaching, I genuinely do not want you to worry about going for a phone number. Now, as much as that might sound incredibly counterintuitive to do, because the whole purpose of going out to cold approach is to essentially get a result and ultimately get yourself on a date. But most guys, though, that if they've lacked the experience from having conversations, they genuinely suck at having conversations. And this is something that you genuinely need to work on if you do want to move to the next stage, which is going on dates. Now, I've known guys who have gone to dating coaches over the years, and yes, they have gotten results and stuff, but the fact that they don't focus on having conversations, usually a lot of the time a dating coach has actually just given them things to say as a crutch to get started, which is fantastic and all, especially if someone is new to starting conversations with strangers on the street. But if you're not practicing conversations, especially with people that you genuinely like, you're attracted to, and you want to see what can happen with it, you've got to spend some time on that, because what's worse is stopping beautiful women on the street, not really having much to talk about, but getting a phone number, but then going on a date with them and having literally nothing to say. You have no idea if you've got anything in common. You have no idea what sort of topics you can be bringing up or things you want to express or disagree with. You've got to work on that particular muscle. You've got to get used to speaking to people, because if you don't, that's not going to get you anywhere, unfortunately, in life. You can get all the numbers in the world, you can get all of the dates that you want, but unless then you've got that physical attractiveness going on there, you've got to learn how to be able to communicate with people. So an exercise that I really used to like doing in the past, and something that I've even given to clients as well, is to just go out and don't worry about being outcome dependent. Don't worry about trying to get a phone number or anything. Just focus on having conversations with people. Work on like the different muscles within that. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you want to practice just giving people compliments. You're not very good at giving people compliments of sorts. So why not work on that muscle? Go out for a day and practice just giving people compliments. Get used to expressing yourself. Get used to even noticing something about the girl that you really like, that you want to give her a compliment about, rather than saying something generic like, oh, you look really nice, or you've got nice hair, or I love your dress today, which is very surface level. You're not really saying anything that stands out from the crowd of other guys who are also giving her compliments because they want to get her phone number. Be very specific, and you can learn to practice that. And same with conversations as well. In fact, actually, even taking a step back from that, you've got the opportunity to practice transitioning from a compliment to a conversation. When you see someone and you've given them a nice compliment about them, what do you want to ask? Or what could you transition to? If you're not confident in having a conversation yet, then why not practice transitioning to asking a question, like asking for directions or asking about a service or a location or something. Something very, very simple like that can be a great stepping stone to just practicing getting that creativity going in your mind. And of course, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be spending a day just going around asking people for directions to the nearest train station. Definitely not. You'll probably find that after you've done that a couple of times, you're used to it, you're desensitized, you've got the same reaction over and over again. But then you can get to that stage where you're like, right, what else could I ask? Or if I'm going to give her a compliment, maybe I could ask her something about her ethnicity, her accent, because when she responds and says thank you, you're going to pick up an accent. You've got a number of things to at least get started with there, but you've got to be able to practice having a conversation with someone. The last thing that I want for you to experience is going on a date and essentially just twiddling your thumbs. And because you don't know how to have a conversation, you don't know how to flirt with her, you don't know how to seduce her, you don't know how to escalate, so at least then it can lead to something romantic as the date progresses. Even practicing conversation skills on the street for interaction so you can get phone numbers certainly has that ripple effect into when you go on dates with girls and what kind of things you can talk about. And also you kind of build more rapport with someone when you're having a conversation with them. If you don't, then yeah, you're still like trying to figure each other out. She's still trying to make sense of you. And I would go as far to say that it usually doesn't go as far as that. The girls, when they start logically thinking about you approaching them and them giving you their number, they're going to start rationalizing and think, well, I had no conversation with this guy. There wasn't really any sort of interaction. I don't know what he's like. I don't know anything about him. He's still a stranger. So I'm still going out with someone that I haven't really got any investment in. So there's going to be a lot of things that's going to talk her out of the situation, which is why, you've got to have some kind of chat with her, even a bit of banter, even having a bit of a laugh or being playful in a conversation. All of these things you really need to practice. So I throw it to you, like, even if you're someone who, you constantly go out and cold approach and you're always looking for phone numbers, and maybe you do get phone numbers, but nothing seems to, move forward from them, then why not just take a step back and just go out for a day and say, right, you know what? Unless I have a really good conversation with someone, I have no interest in asking for phone numbers. And get comfortable with just focusing on that particular element of the interaction. And a byproduct of that is that you're going to get so comfortable with talking to attractive women that you'll find that it will become really effortless to then ask for a phone number. But also you'll find that when you message these girls, they'll actually message you back. So consider, like, if you're not getting any results, if you're struggling with, chatting with girls, then just focus on this particular part. And I promise you it will pay off in the long run, because this is something that tends to get neglected, believe it or not. People seem to think like, oh, well, if I just go over, give a compliment, that's like waving a magic wand and hey presto, now she is going to be my girlfriend and it's all going to work out happy ever after. And it doesn't. You're still a stranger. You still need to demonstrate your social intelligence, that you are also someone who can have an intellectual or just fun conversation with them. And then from there, that is where then you will get phone numbers that will lead to fantastic results. So I'd love to hear how you get on with this. Leave a comment below. Even let me know your thoughts on this as well. Do you think it's a good idea just to focus on conversations, or do you think still just try absolutely everything, going for a number and stuff, even if you aren't really having conversations? Because I'm on the fence with it. I kind of do both. I offer both or suggest both. But for guys who really, really struggle to talk, maybe because they just lack the experience, or they've just really not spoken to enough people, I think it's just good practice just to focus on that. Don't worry about stressing yourself out with phone numbers to try and get on dates. Spin one plate first before you start spinning the next.